Hello and welcome to Dee Dee Blooms. In my attempts to try to catch up with my channel and videos, one of the things is losing orchids. So if you're into this hobby or other types of houseplants, you know that there are failures that happen. Well, I've had quite a bit of failures over this last year, and I think my last video was posted maybe 4 months ago, but the pile you're looking at here is more than just 4 months. So I'm going to go through the ones that I've lost and just talk a little bit about each one. It's quite a bit, which makes me sad, but I learn with every single one. This one is my Masdevallia Excelsior, or it was. Got it from Andy's Orchids. It was doing just fine until spider mites got it. So this one I lost because of spider mites. And let's see, I think there's another Masdevallia in here somewhere. Oh, right here, right in front of me. This also a Masdevallia Chaparana, which I lost due to spider mites. This last summer, I had a spider mite issue here in my grow room, in particular on this bottom shelf, and they just really liked the Masdevallias, which was really, really sad. For those who maybe saw my little Epicattleya video, I participated with Nina from Ninja Orchids and Fernanda Nascimento in their Care Collab series on the Epicattleya Renee Marquez, and my little seedling did not make it. It just kept declining. I would try to increase moisture, it didn't work. I would then keep it drier, it didn't work. Nothing I did, brighter light, lower light, nothing I did worked. So that is gone. I did buy another one that I have over on this other shelf, and it is doing the same thing. It was a fully large, beautiful, established young plant. I got it from Brookside Orchids, which always sends me beautiful, healthy plants, and it was that. And for some reason, I am not able to grow the Epicattleya Renee Marquez. So I'm assuming one of these days I'm going to show you the carcass of that one. I haven't given up yet. It's still alive, but barely. Next one is right here. I've got a little stem left. This is Miltonia Chiasime. I had it for about a year. When I first purchased it from Andy's Orchids, it was spring of 2021. And so I summered it outside. I wintered it outside, and then spring of 2022, a year later, it just started declining, and throughout the summertime. So this fall I brought it in, trying to protect it more, nurse it, and it did not work. It just didn't make it. Save this one for last. Right here is the end of my Roseoglossom Williamsianum crossed with sibling. I got this one, gosh, I'm going to say about 2 years ago as well, back in 2021, spring of 2021. And I got it from, a Midwest nursery. I am having a mind blank. But it never did well in my care. I had it outside since the spring of 2021, and this last summer it just started dying off. It actually, one of the pseudobulbs rotted, so I pulled it off, and then the rot, I think, just took out the whole plant. So I guess I overwatered or kept it too moist. And this is growing outside in the summertime with super hot temperatures. I was really surprised when I found the rot, and I had it potted in this chunky bark mix. So it's really well draining. Maybe, I guess, some water stuck in here. We're really not sure. Moving on, because there's lots to go. I got this next one, Afri Orchids. It was a teeny tiny Phalaenopsis labii. It really didn't have much of a shot when I got it. It was really in poor condition. I got it this last fall, the fall of 2022, when I went to Cal Orchids open house. So I had pre-ordered from Afri Orchids because they were going to have representatives at the open house, and I picked up my order there, and it wasn't very healthy, so I didn't have high hopes. This one is one of my very first orchid purchases through Etsy, and this goes all the way back to the spring of 2021 when I really started looking at orchids other than Phalaenopsis that you get at your local home improvement store or grocery store orchids. And this is an RLC Thaxina Red. I think it has a virus of some sort. It never thrived. It would grow these new growths, like you can see this one here, and oops, falling apart. And they would just die off every time. So no matter what I did, just did not do well. This one up top here is the Ocyclades maculata. I got it from Seattle Orchid, actually only like maybe 6 months ago. And it had this new little growth, and that's it. And it just dry. I don't know if it rotted. Right now it's dry, but I think I got some water in this growth. I'm pretty sure it rotted. So that was due to my poor watering, I believe. Next, this little shriveled Lycaste bulb. It's from Norman's Orchids. I got this the spring of 2022. It was a Lycaste Yi Ying Sakura, which is Jean Tolliday Candoli crossed with Yi Ying Red Star. It was a beautiful plant when I first got it. It had multiple mature pseudobulbs, some beautiful leaves, and it just started declining right away. I got rot in a bulb right away, and then it started taking out the other bulbs. So then I was repotting. I was desperately trying to save it because I think it had like 7 pseudobulbs. I really thought I had a chance to save it, and no go. Did not make it. This is a little no ID Vanda seedling that I purchased via Etsy maybe a 1.5 years ago, and I'd been nursing it along. It arrived not in the greatest condition, but it started to rally, and it was growing this new leaf right here. And then I had some things happen in my life that my watering practices during this last summer did not go as regularly as needed, and we had some really hot temperatures. I was growing this one inside. It wasn't outside, but still it gets warmer in my house, and it was drying out a lot faster. And so I think I underwatered it, and the vascular system in it collapsed. That's my guess. This one here is, sorry for the blurriness, Caucasia Phalaenopsis. Got this one from Equagenera maybe a little over a year ago, and it was just kind of this scraggly little plant the whole time. Never did well. And it didn't rot. It just shriveled up and gave up. Like, it wouldn't produce any new roots. And I tried to repot. I tried Super Thrive. Nothing would get it to reanimate. So it just was not happy here. I'm gonna move this one over too. Next is another Andes Orchids. This one I posted a bloom video. It's beautiful yellow, lemony yellow blooms with a little bit red on the lip. The Xanthina var major. Oh my gosh, if I can find this one again, I'd like to try again. It was very fragrant, lovely, lovely light fragrance. And after it bloomed, it started to rot. So I did something wrong, and so I repotted, and I was trying to save sections of it, but little by little, each of the sections just completed their rotting process. So that's the end of that one. Another Ecuagenera here that didn't make it. This is Epidendrum medusa. I bought it at our local botanical gardens. Ecuagenera had a sales point there. They were having a orchid exhibit, and it was a cute little baby one, and it just slowly got all these dark spots on it. So I think it got brown rot. It had all these like brownish, darkish spots, and it just died. But here in my grow room, which I have lots of plants here, I have a new specimen that's been doing okay. And you can see some of those brown spots on even my new plant, but the new growths don't have it. So I'm hoping I'll get this one to thrive for me. Come back over here. This one is Dracula Poe. I was so disappointed in losing this one. It was thriving. It was doing so great. I actually, even through the spider mite infestation, because I had it in this bottom shelf back corner, because again, this is the shelf that had so many spider mites. I was spraying everything all over the place. They didn't go for this. So it survived the spider mite attack. And then one day I had it in the self-watering pot, and I lifted it out to water it, and I realized there were two beautiful flower spikes sticking out. Two of them. And so I started reading what to do about the flower spikes, because they were sitting inside the well of the self-watering pot. I really had no clue that Draculas bloom from their bottom like Stanhopias. So I made that mistake. And so I went and I bought this little airy wood cabinet thing from Home Goods and hung it in there outside of the bottom. I put a little tray of pebbles with water in it, and I had a little humidifier, or not a humidifier, a little humidity meter in there. So I kept the humidity between like 70 and 80%. And all of a sudden over a few weeks, the flower spikes aborted. I was so sad because they were beautiful. They were healthy. They were starting to develop their first buds. They aborted. They actually rotted. It was like it was too humid, which didn't make any sense because it was like 100% humidity within the well of the self-watering pot. So I don't know. And then the plant itself rotted. So maybe it was just a coincidence. Maybe I got some water somewhere within some sheaths, and that was it. But it seemed when I moved its environment, just didn't make it. So sad. My other Draculas, I'll have to make a video of it. I have them in a certain setup so I can quickly see the flower spikes, and those flower spikes will adapt to how they're growing, and hopefully they can just flower within this area that I created. But I'm going to save that for a separate video. We got a few more plants here, sadly, to go through. So I already talked about my Masdevallias here, but I'm going to start in on this chunk of tags. So anyone watching my videos, you'll know that I tried to do a 20-gallon jewel terrarium. Well, that didn't go very well. I have lost so many jewel orchids. I've had to tear down this 20-gallon terrarium twice due to mold issues. So obviously not enough airflow. And it turned out to be so much work. And you can see I have a lot of plants in my house, outside of my house. I have a lot of plants. So it cannot be, whatever system I set up cannot be that laborsome to manage. So my chunk of jewel orchids that were so beautiful and happy and healthy when I bought them just either rotted or they did not adapt to being repotted at all. So I lost this one, the Nectocylus roxburghii gold, the Nectodes Charlotte's Web, the very expensive $40 Goodyear Schlechtendaliana var Nishikira in Japan. It's fun to try to say the names. The Nectocylus leopard. A Nectocylus siamensis crossed with Roxburghii. And my Decinocylus dreamcatcher. And this one that was in a separate little pot that I actually never did put in the terrarium also died on me. And that's the Nectocylus formosanus. Another one here is the Nectocylus cochinensis crossed with siamensis. And so, again, if you watch any of my videos, I potted up some of these in this tree stump molded pot, for lack of a better word. And they all just, most of them collapsed. Yeah, the only one that's barely hanging on is this one, and it's Ludicea spiderweb. I'm gonna try to transplant it, but I just don't think it's gonna make it. So I lost a whole bunch of those. This one is actually one of my friends. She asked me to try to save it, but the rot was too advanced. This Encyclia Necellum chimberensis. I only had it for a couple weeks, and the rot just continued to take over. And then in here we have my Den Violaceum crossed with sibling. Some of them I had to throw out. This one was a huge Cal Orchid purchase I got over 2 years ago, and it was just beautiful. I was growing it outside, and it ended up with scale. And I tried desperately over the last year and a half to save it from the scale, but that scale kept coming back. And scale is like a nightmare, absolute nightmare. So I ended up throwing the plant out. It was so sad. Oh, another Nectocylus cochinensis crossed with siamensis. Poor jewel orchids. I do have some remaining, and I'll have to show you what I have in a separate video. But this area, rhomboidalis, bloomed for me beautifully. And I did a bloom video, but the plant itself, sorry for the blurriness, did not make it. You know, I got this new iPhone 14 Pro. It's supposed to be this amazing camera video system, and I'm not liking it at all. You would think I paid enough money for it. It's smart. It would be smart enough, but no. I've also posted videos about my Kyloschistas, and all of them died. So my Viridiflava died, and my Lunifera, there's supposed to be an L, Lunifera red. That's the dead remains. And then I lost a number of Lepanthes. I love Lepanthes, and I really tried a collection in the terrarium, but they either would rot or it just, I don't know. I thought, 80 to 90% humidity would be enough. Nope. So there's this Lepanthes thalia crossed with Lepanthus hexapus. Lepanthes Nisanale equigenera. Almost all of these are equigenera. Lepanthes felis. Lepanthes telepogoniflora. This is my second attempt at growing it. Oh, I think this one goes with this little pot. And then I also did a bloom video on my Dicea and Coralabia. It bloomed beautifully for me. I repotted it, and it went downhill. Lost the whole plant. Very sad. And then this is a Braciocattleya mini bird. Orchids by Hauserman purchase, miniature orchid. And I think I didn't water it enough. So, and then lastly today, which has prompted me to get this video done, I'm pretty sure I lost this one too from Ecuagenera. It's my Aussie Hilo Dendrobium Aussie Hilo. I'm gonna unpot it, see if there's any good roots. All my other types have been throwing out new leaves, new growths, but not this one. So I think it's done. So that's the sad news. I'm glad I'm getting this done. Just kind of want to start a fresh slate. I'm going to catch up on some other videos that I've done for blooms over the last months, get those posted so you guys can see the blooms I've had this last year in 2022, and then look forward to trying to move ahead. But thanks for watching if you stuck it out. I don't know if any of this is helpful. It's just part of what happens when you're trying to grow something outside of their normal environment. You have successes, such as I have this beautiful bronze maiden Phalaenopsis working on her flower spike here, and also my Renanthera has thrown on a new flower spike. My Chinjanthres, I've posted videos on this one flowering as well, has put on another bud. It's a new flower bud right there. That's just some of the examples. Oh, here's a quick Dendrobium Tetragonum. I just got this last fall at Santa Barbara Orchid Estates in bloom. Absolutely gorgeous. I'll do a full bloom video on that one. So yeah, I hope you guys are having good days. And again, thanks for sticking it out. This is a long one, a long, sad one, but always something to be learned. And little by little, I'll start sharing some more. I've got more things in bud, more blooms to share. And I'm sure I'll have some failures coming up as well. You guys all have a great day. Thanks again for watching.